Thank you so much, platformers. Good morning and welcome to Mzima Wells, the platform podcast where we change the narrative. Just before I say anything else, Maz, have you picked your ticket for the Platfest ama umetulia tu unangojea maajabu ifanyike? Go to Mzima Wells, go to our Facebook, you can go to TikTok. Go to everywhere, and you can also, I think, contact the studio number. There is also, I think a site is there already. You can go to www.mzimawells.com, grab your ticket, so that you can have a chance of meeting one-on-one, and networking, being able to know each other, and thank you so much, everyone who is supporting Mzima Wells in every way possible, and thank you so much those who have joined us this morning, and welcome to the platform podcast Mzima Wells, where we change the narrative. And as you can see, I'm not alone. I'm with Abel Kibet, our good director, and maybe he can just introduce himself, say something. What is happening on the ground? We saw the toilet that was being built. You have posted it there. We are already seeing it coming up. You can tell us more, and other developments that is going on.
Yeah, thank you very much, Derek. It's by the way, it's Friday. We have been here since Monday, and we are going for the weekend. And I must say, I'm happy. It's a good break, yes. And we really want to thank our viewers for always being here with us, and we don't take it for granted the way you have said. Derek, of course, a lot is happening on ground, especially at Mount Elgon, Kapsokwony, and it's true we are having the toilet yesterday. I was able, and I was privileged to be on ground and confirm and even managed to talk with some of the few people that were there, and you had them by yourselves, and it's a good thing. They are very happy. We are having a toilet coming up, and after that, Derek, I saw some people and some funny comments that were trending in Voices of Change, that now misitu za Kapsokwony zitakuwa zikipumzika. So it's a good thing, Derek, and we must big up to the give a thumbs up to the county government of Bungoma County for remembering the people of Kapsokwony. Sanitation is very important. Also, Derek, Kapsokwony hospital is picking up very well. When you are around, you can see it. I'm also happy to report that we are having preparations for the county games, which is JSS, that will be happening here at Kapsokwony, and it's a very starting today, and already I've seen very many schools coming, and very many school buses are coming in, and I really hope business will be booming in Kapsokwony, because these one are county games. Expect all the schools from county games. So we are expecting to have all the schools from Bungoma County here in Kapsokwony. The whole county, the county is here. Will be having.
We have Lusaka,
Probably we may have, because again, I'm happy to report that yesterday, again, we had Governor Lusaka in Kimilili, Kibingei ward. I think they were launching a bridge, which is being done, and a good job being done by Minister of Roads, Bungoma County, Chief Executive Officer Bonvenja Chestit, and he was there with the governor, together with the deputy governor, and indeed, they are doing a very good job. And amongst the things that are happening, Derek,
So, and maybe which games exactly? Is it athletics or football?
Of course, we're having athletics, we're having rugby. I think football will be coming second term. Remember now, they are junior secondary. I think they are picking up. I think they're picking up these programs. It's a new thing. I'm not very sure, but a few minutes ago I was talking to the head teacher Kapsokony Primary, and I was really I was inviting me, maybe perhaps I get myself to to attend the event, so that maybe, and I think God willing we will be doing that. God willing we'll be doing that, and maybe to inform and keep platformers keep the platformers at par on what is really happening in Mount Elgon and Bungoma County at large. Perhaps now we delve into...
Yeah, there are some people, who have joined us and they're always here every morning with us. We have Ezekiel Sifuna, you saying hali vipi kina kaka zangu. Asante sana Ezekiel, tuko poa sana, sijui mali huko kukoje. Ezekiel Sifuna, thank you so much, for joining us and welcome. Masi Cherono, the topest, the topest fan of Mzima Wells, is saying morning beautiful people. Aye is a VP, thank you so much Masi Cherono. How is Machakos, and how are you faring on? The guy from Chepkube himself, the accountant.
My clansman.
I don't know which accounting goes on in Chepkube. Maybe we'll know in future which accounting goes on in Chepkube. But Accountant Dio is saying good morning and good day platformer. Sina bundles mnibaie as if someone can help. If someone can help Accountant Dio, it will be a very, very grateful thing. And then, the girl from Tuscaloosa City, in the United States of America, the state of Alabama, Felin Mening is saying, hey, good morning, Mzimwell's family tuned in nikiwa huku US. How is America, Felin, thank you so much for joining us. Kijana Mount Elgon, leo ni Friday my guys. Thank you so much mazes. Sijui Friday yako inakupelekaje na uko wapi? In Members Day, what do you have in mind? Alvo Alvarez, among one of the people are always here saying good morning. Hosts Kazi Safi, thank you so much. And then Alvo Alvarez anasema tesi mia and the world aren't happy. Yeah, so those are the people who have joined us.
Yeah, remember we are also live on our YouTube channel Mzima Wells. So maybe I also want to, we have some countries that cannot access Facebook, and maybe you'll want to follow us through Facebook. We are also live on our YouTube channel, which is Mzima Wells Studios.
Yeah. So, we dive in direct to the stories of the day, just to tell among the things we are talking about is the yesterday reshuffle. Yesterday we saw the president reshuffling, PSs, others were promoted, others were appointed, others were nominated, others were reassigned, and there is even ambassadors and other position, foreign service position that were given to people, deputy head of missions, consul generals, ambassadors, among so many other positions, were given out yesterday to different people. Shall be talking about that. Also yesterday we saw Nakade, eating on 2 clubs because of the shisha ban. They did, on Thika Road, they went to 2 clubs and found out, that these people are still selling shisha. Yeah, so it's it's an interesting I think thing, because the story of shisha causes I think 30 cancers, which is not something that should be great and good. Also in our last story is that the DRC accept a mineral for security deal with the US. Shall be talking about that. The deal was mediated or was pushed through by the leader of Qatar, the Sheikh of Qatar, called someone Tamim Al-Altan or something like that. So those are among the things we shall be talking about, because I'm sure they matter to all of us, and maybe just to dive in straight, into the first story, which is the changes that we have seen in the recent cabinet reshuffle, which did come to a shockwave. We did see the the guy, the PS from Mount Elgon, Bwanari Kimtai, being reassigned to another ministry, which is mining, from the Ministry of Medical Services. We also saw someone being nominated also, and some people have said, things are going now to the Nyanza region, but I don't think it's even so. I think it's more broader based government. So
we are now having bases.
We have bases, so it is not just about it's not normal when they say things have changed. You need to understand things have changed. So yesterday a statement was removed out by the chief of staff in State House, Bwana Felix Kosgei, who is also a big friend of Mount Elgon. Yesterday he did release out the changes. Obviously, there are some people who are promoted, including Mr. Amos Gatecha, who was promoted from Principal Secretary Public Service to the Deputy Head of Public Service. I think he'll be now deputizing, Felix Kosgei in his work. And then another one who was appointed, he was PS for ICT, is now been appointed to be the senior advisor and member of the President's
the man that was under
he was
under fire with the media.
In the media, he did even in his last day, I think he refused Standard Media and so many other media station the government's advertisement. So Professor Edward Kisiangani is now, I think, has now been appointed to a senior advisor, and member of the Presidential Council of Economic Advisors, which include also David Ndi, I think the former CS for East Africa, Adan Hassan, and so many other people. And we shall be talking about that. Also, there were nomination to different, slots of PSS, the permanent secretary for position, and I think the position that was left vacant by Amos Gatecha's, promotion to the deputy, head of public service was filled by Dr. Jane Kare Mbunyo, who is now being nominated to the Ministry of Public Service and Human Capital to become the permanent secretary for Public Service and Human Capital. Also, we saw Regina Akot Ombam. And so there's like so many names. I think over 13 people are nominated. I don't think if it will be so great, but just to say, was nominated to the State Department of not public but medical services, Dr. Oluga Frederick Ouma, who has been a long-time doctor,
he's been a practicing doctor. He's also been the chair of KMPDU.
He has been the chair of
he's remembered for, it was 100 days strikes for the doctors during Uhuru's time. He was the man behind, and I think this one is very, I think President Ruto was doing it on purpose.
So it is really a great thing that is happening. And also we saw Susan Nakumicha making a comeback.
Also in the Ministry of Youth, Derek, Ministry of Youth, Fikirini, a very young man now, for the first time.
Young man called Fikirini. I think even he was sometimes back I think the president of Pwani University, and Fikirini is called Mr. Fikirini Katoi Kahindi Jacobs. He has been nominated to be the PS for Youth Affairs and Sports.
Now, for the first time in history in Kenya, we're having the youngest man in cabinet.
How old is he?
I haven't picked the age, but he should be the youngest guy to be nominated into the highest office in. It's the office, the executive.
The senior accounting.
Yes, the senior accounting officers of the land right now, and it's great. Let's now wait and see. Let's wait for Talanta Stadium. Let's wait so much and get so much from this young man.
Yeah, we also saw Susan Nakumicha Wafula, making a comeback as a permanent representative, UN Habitat, mission in Kenya. Also so Engineer Tumos, I think he had been moved from medical services. I don't know to which ministry. Is now being posted as ambassador to Kinshasa. I don't know how that goes, remembering that the situation in Kinshasa as we speak at the moment. But we also saw the PS Harry Kimtai being reassigned.
Yeah.
We even saw Belio Kipsang, a renowned educationist, being reassigned. What does that mean? And we also saw, like, we don't know where PS Raymond Omolo will be, because the PS was, Belio Kipsang was sent to, I think
Kipsang is
yeah,
immigration.
immigration, where Bito came out,
Yes.
and then Raymond Omolo is in interior. Yeah, he maintains the.
He's among the few that are maintaining.
We saw Ari Kimtai going to mining, Julius Bito going to education. Yeah. Do you think these changes are even satisfying?
I think the most satisfying, I think in the spirit of the broad-based government, if you look at it, I think this one now is the first reshuffle that is happening, and what we can call is happening under the broader-based government, the very first. And I think if you can remember, when we had recently in parliament, when we had members of parliament arguing on which coalition the majority in parliament, and I remember Millicent Omanga saying that they are in broad-based government, but by then it was not based. They were only in the government that was broad, but it was not really based. But I think right now, in the spirit of what President William Ruto and maybe Raila Amolo Odinga have been talking about and have been saying, is maybe it's satisfactory to them, because most of these people, we've even seen now what I've mentioned, a very young man coming into and I think that one is the effect now of what Baba was saying, and let us have young people also taking up this position. And we've seen, I think Fikirini Jacko has been a member of ODM, and has been very, very
has helped ODM
yes,
in Kilifi.
Yes. So it's among the things that in the spirit of the broader-based government, Derek, I can say it's satisfactory to the leadership that we are currently having in parliament. And maybe those reshuffles, Derek, have been happening. If you talk about PS Harry Kimtai, he's been in various ministries in Kenya. Remember, he was in livestock. We saw him, he came energy, he served in energy ministry for a while. Sometimes he became a minister, PS for 2 departments. We've seen him again coming to remember health was really undergoing a lot of issues, especially, and he's been the man that has been holding shift for a very long time. And before even this reshuffle, and we talked about it yesterday, I remember telling you that Harry Kimtai had given and had come out very clearly and giving out stern warnings on some hospitals on the issues of SHA. And Harry Kimtai has been a man that is served in this, and I think he's gaining, if anything, is just gaining more experience and more experience in terms of governance and now, on the look of things, if you ask me, probably when we are going to have the next reshuffle, maybe he may become the CS. You may never know. He's been in that particular cabinet for a while. Remember, he served during Uhuru Kenyatta's time. The only thing that is happening is that we're having addition of these PS positions from the previous that we had. I think the government is bringing in more state departments that were not there, and I think in the spirit of what maybe the younger people have forgotten, and because people are being given jobs, people may never talk about that, because remember, Derek, during demonstrations, even some people said we do not want to see the office of the first lady, and indeed I've never heard of I never hear of Rachel Ruto, and she has gone quiet, but when we bring the conversation back to if the reshuffles are satisfactory, Derek, in the spirit of the broader base, yes, but it's more now to the taxpayers, because we're having additional departments.
Oh, there are additional departments.
Yes,
That's
like that one, Ministry of Medical Services.
oh, okay.
That one was not there.
Okay. Also, there are so many, things that I think they are bringing, attention, like, Belio Kipsang being moved out of. He has been a long serving, to now going into immigration department in the national interior, and Bitok being reassigned. Do you think, first of all, Bitok will be able to handle the education sector? The education sector is a tricky sector. Will it be able to?
I strongly believe Julius Bitok has also been serving in the Ministry of Immigration, and we've seen on what he's been trying to do in terms of maybe passports and visa, maybe in terms of foreign, in terms of maybe in ensuring that he improves the services. Remember the backlog and the backlash that we've really had it's so straining, and it's so hard sometimes to get, and it's been that way since time, and amongst the people that tried to come and maybe bring that change is Julius Bitok. Remember, he is the man that came in this. Remember, registrations of person is in the same department, and he will be remembered as the man that brought the IDs. Unajua IDs ilikuwa inachukuliwa for free, and he is the man that hiked the fee, and later on, before him now being transferred to another ministry, say that for you now to pick your IDs, it will be free. Remember, this one is a policy that was being tried, that has been that the government was trying to enforce, and in the spirit of the broader based government is when now maybe amongst the things that the government has been advised, and Julius Bitok recently came out clearly and said that you'll need maybe it will be free, and in that spirit, I believe that with the proper standards, the pace that has been set by the previous holders of those offices, and I believe it's not only him. We have people in those departments that will help him achieve maybe what we want.
Yeah, so, and also maybe, I don't know if this is the end now, the broad-based government is fully formed, or we expect more changes.
Yeah, we're expecting more people and more changes as time moves, Derek, because we are so many in Kenya, and in the spirit of we have so many people that in as much as we're still talking of the broader base gov, still they haven't felt, and they're not feeling what maybe the government is trying to achieve and bring to them. So I believe we still have, like, Turkana people still need to be in government. Teso people will want to be those minorities, and in that spirit, Derek will still be having more reshuffles and more to come.
Yeah, yesterday we saw, a nomination of Dr. Ouma Oluga to the State Department of Medical Service, and a reassignment to PSR Kimtai to the State Department of Mining, and so many other changes that have been done, including promotions, of Amos Gatech and Professor Edward Kisiangani. But some people, have even said, Kisiangani is being demoted from, an accounting a PS who is an accounting officer to just an advisor to the president. But we'll be seeing how that goes on. But we also saw Susan Nakumicha making a comeback as a permanent representative to UN Habitat, in Kenya. And we saw her recently, saying that Mia has gone back to farming, praying and hoping maybe she will be considered for something. Do you think maybe her behavior and her recent talks during the funeral of Wafula Chebukati did give him a chance, in the president's thought, of appointing her to be the permanent representative?
Yes, Derek, in fact, it's what I wanted to tell you. In fact, I will remember during the recent burial of Wafula Chebukati, may his soul rest in eternal peace. She was talking and she came out clearly and said that when we were having the Gen Z's demonstrations is when her fate and what we call that her bad luck came, and she was saying and she was using this term that Gen Z walianguka na mimi wakati wa maandamano, and indeed she is the person that we remember her serving in the Ministry of Health and being those leaders and those PSS and being those CSS that really were under this thing that we are calling universal health coverage. Now she was the proponent. She really remember she was the one that brought what we are community health promoters. She is the one that launched that program, and she really achieved a lot during her time. And I remember she was very bold, and she used to appear in very many interviews in televisions and trying to explain how and how she's going to ensure that everyone gets access to proper and good health services from the government, Derek. And she talked, and she was, if you are very keen, she was speaking from a point of suffering, because she previously she was holding a very lucrative seat, and maybe she said that she had gone back to cabbage farming. Akasema alikuwa anauza cabbage, Derek, in Cherengani, and hata alishindwa kutoa sadaka kwa Chebukati, kabidi aende auze cabbage. And she said that I think it's among the things that president pia akamfeel na akaona acha huyu in the spirit of the broader based government, acha nimrudishe pia huyu aweze kupata nafasi, and it's a good thing. Let us see what she will do. She's been a woman of valor, and we really want to see also women rising to spaces, and I hope she will come and vie governor 2027 in Trans Nzoia County, because ile siasa iko pale Trans Nzoia, maybe and Derek, you see, maybe she's on the look of things she can become a project of the, I told you, haezi achwa hivyo, haezi tupo nje. Na someone mark my words, the way pale Isaac Ruto alifanyiwa pale Bomet na Lona, ilikuwa Loboso, Joyce Loboso, huenda ikafanyiwa mwanaume mwingine hapa Trans Nzoia, and si mchezo, because men have tried and they failed, but huwezi jua, wanaweza leta mama bwana na Ford Kenya, Derek. Niko hatari sana.
Yeah, you don't know, but Susan Nakumicha is making a comeback, to government as the permanent representative, of Kenya to the UN Habitat, which is also located in Nairobi. Also, we saw changes happening yesterday in different, state departments. We saw promotions of Amos Gatecha, who was promoted to the deputy, head of public service. Edward Kisiangani, professor. Some say demoted, some say promotion to is now the senior advisor.
The Kisiangani Derek, and it will be good if we speak about that. Recently,
he did cancel contracts.
Yes, he did cancel contracts of very many private media houses, saying that most of these those advertising should go to KBC, in a way of even trying to revive and that was his argument. And some people strongly believe that he was trying to frustrate those private media. And some people, you can even remember the headlines. Some people came with they said they contradicting what was the title? We had the title in the Standard newspaper about Kisiangani. Remember, Kisiangani has been a man that has been on media for a while. And
the media felt that they elevated him, and when he went up there, he
is now being used to. And remember, Derek, sometimes back I had the same argument, and not me alone. I've seen some people talking about it, and I think if you ask me, I'd want to some bit agree with Professor Kisiangani. Remember, this is a man I know. I was with him during my graduation. He was Kenya Institute of Mass Communication is a department of ICT and information. So he was amongst the people that were present, and he's been a person that has been very present during my days and I used to say him talk. I used to say, and he used to say that sometimes media, the same media that is advertising those very jobs that maybe the government is doing, again, are the same media that come and castigate government. And sometimes the government finds itself in a position that is not very good in terms of maybe trying to explain what they're doing to that trying to do to its people and its citizens. So very many people and many people in the media believe that he's being used maybe to frustrate them in terms of ensuring they are not getting those business. And even when it was when the reshuffle has been done, many people some people are believing that this one is a demotion. I don't know why. Some people believe now
it's been removed from
an accounting position. And many people say that he had no powers, maybe, and that is what even the court ruled out, that he was acting out of his powers, and him ruling out some medias maybe getting those tenders to advertise government projects.
Yeah, we also saw in the State Department for Medical Services, there was changes there, and we saw Dr. Oluga Frederick Ouma, being appointed or being nominated to be the PS for medical services. And we also saw Mr. Fikirini, though I think the youngest now PS in the country, being put, in charge of youth affairs, and sports. We are seeing, and we are following up to see any other changes that will be happening. We also saw reassignments of Julius Bitok to the Ministry of Education, Harry Kimtai to the State Department of Mining, Belio Kipsang to the State Department of Immigration and Citizen Services. We also saw Susan Nakumiche, making a comeback, and Engineer Tum, being sent as an ambassador to the Kinshasa, where we have serious diplomatic issues, and we shall be talking about the issues of DRC later, as we end the show. But just to continue in our next story, we have seen Nakada really, and we have talked about this, even in the past, Nakada, waging a war on Shisha, they are saying they will go hard on Shisha. I don't know why, but even according to research, Shisha causes, a lot of cancers. I think over 6 cancers, which, are a big problem to the society. We know when someone gets cancer, it's a very big money problem. And so, I think this is what they are trying to control. And yesterday night along Thika Road, we saw the same, Nakada, on their raid for Shisha, they raided Al Fakir Club, I think in Mirema Drive, and also they raided Embassy Club along Thika Road. These, and while they, they went into these, premises, they did find out over 52, shisha bongs, and they even went on to arrest, I think, 3 people. And this has really become, a big thing, because some people think, if you go to some clubs, you'll not find shisha pots. But if you go to others, you'll find shisha pots everywhere. And it has been banned in the country. I don't know up to when will maybe people going to clubs or people selling at clubs, will stop, selling shisha because of the cancerous, damages that it can bring. But just to discuss in a few is, do you think maybe it is the demand that is moving these clubs, and most like Al Fakir, I think this is like a Somali club. Most Somali, even when I was in Nairobi, like things were being bought in like shisha, the flavor and what were being bought in Isli. Do you think maybe it is the demand? People want shisha. That is what, especially from the Somali community, that is moving and pushing, for retailers or for different clubs to continue offering shisha, even if, it has been banned. It was banned, I think, so many years ago.
Yeah. Thank you, Derek. We also want to appreciate those that are also following us on our YouTube. We also live, remember, also live on YouTube. I think Sylvia Kwamo is saying, my people, thank you very much. We really appreciate those that are following through YouTube. Kaka also following from Nom City saying morning, thank you. Tesi anasema Abel, sini Friday ama anyways, good morning. It's Friday, by the way, it's Friday. We really want to appreciate those that are tuning in. Chi Sobet says, good morning, GM. Good morning to us. Thank you. Brian K saying he's in. Miaudi Andrew Kimtai saying, good morning, following live Outer Imara Daima Nairobi Embakasi constituency twende hadi tamati. Thank you very much. Miaudi Andrew Kimtai. Thank you for your feedback and for following through. Derek, on the issue of shisha, yeah, I think shisha was banned very many years, and we have seen various operations in Nairobi. Although many people and most of you know that we have shisha in any place that you wanna get shisha in Nairobi, you'll just get if you really want and you want to get. We have so many dens that are well known for shisha, and I think it's demand, Derek, because some of these people have to bribe the authority. They go to an extent of even bribing the authority so as to maybe have those shisha. And again, you see, when you have those shisha, you will get a lot of customers in your club and in your business. So plus the demand, you see, we have those the users. Most of these people that use shisha are people with a lot of money, Derek. And maybe it's demand, as you say. And I think the government of Kenya has been putting measures, and it's been ensuring that maybe we are not having these shisha joints. But it's been a very hard work for the government for even sometimes to know, because some people are having these things in their houses. They are using in their houses the use of shisha, Derek. But sometimes the government has done its work in maybe giving NACADA is doing its work in ensuring that they are regulating these drugs. They are informing people, ensuring that maybe those that are below the age of 18 and are not exposed to these drugs. But remember, users, Derek, you cannot really control that person that is above 18 years and will really wish to maybe use some certain ban drugs and let you see for the clubs the government maybe will try and maybe do those operations in trying to ensure that maybe our people, our citizens are not exposed to this. But remember we have so many people that they are using in their premises in private, and it's I will agree, and I agree with you that probably because of demand, and very many people that maybe would wish to be using them are the reason, and is the reason that maybe we're having these shishas along and being sold in clubs.
Yeah, we have of Nakada Anthony, and is the director of compliance, saying that this shisha poses a public health risk because of the respiratory. I think it is real. We know nicotine is addictive, but do you think shisha can bring really a public health crisis?
Not really, Derek, not really. And the problem is that when we expose it to maybe those people that are maybe below the age, and maybe those people that are not supposed to, because mostly this is if you know shisha, if you know shisha, I think if you want to use it, yeah, I don't think that shisha can be that because this is not something like cigarette, this is not something like weed. That this is something that is prepared, it's flavor, a lot of things, a lot of process, it entails a lot of process even before coming with the last. So it's something that, Derek, you see it's on wheel, like in as much as you see it's that it's a drug that is very dangerous in terms of the diseases that we're being told, but it's not accessible like you go and get it anytime you want. No, it's prepared, and I believe it cannot cause
Public health.
no, not really.
It might not cause, but I think they're just using it to really wage a significant war. But as we continue, it is great to make sure that you don't expose yourself to some of these things that cause cancer, because cancer might eat you. Don't joke with cancer. But as Kenya continues and Nakada continues to fight shisha, there is a real fight continuing in DRC Congo, and for a very long time DRC has accused Rwanda of backing the M23 rebels. And on 18th, I think the day before yesterday, or the day 2 days before yesterday, in Doha, Qatar, we saw Paul Kagame, and the president of DRC, Felix Tshisekedi, having a sit down, in the presence of the emir of Qatar, so called Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The guy, is the one who mediated, and I think Qatar mediated because they have invested over $1 billion in an airport near Kigali, and they're also promising to invest, in the ports and airports in DRC. So I think this is what really made him, to bring Tshisekedi and Kagame together, whom we know for a very long time. They hate each other, and politics sometimes, it's not they don't really hate each other. It's the interests that maybe are not aligning. But maybe when you saw the picture, Abel, what came into your mind?
Yeah, of course, these are deals, and of course we had a third party, Derek, in that picture, and probably you see that one is someone, we're having a person that is trying to negotiate, and maybe in trying to find peace. But remember, it's a business deal. So what came in my mind, Derek, is just maybe dealership.
Yeah. So maybe a deal was being reached. But a deal was reached, according to what, came out of the meeting, is both sides agreed on ceasefire and immediate cessation of hostilities. But we saw, the day after the talks, M23 took over a town called Walakile in yeah. It seems some people, commentators have said the aim of M23 is to oust Tshisekedi out of power. Yesterday, even if people are discussing in Doha, Qatar, M23 don't seem to care about whatever is being said. And we have seen also the DRC are pushing for a mineral deal with the US. They say they have mineral deposits over, and I think it's known over $24 trillion, the mineral deposits in DRC. But some of parts of DRC, and the major places with these minerals are controlled, or they are under M23. So is it possible? And even Shekedi has been asked by different, media stations around the world, DRC Congo is a very insecure place. Can an American company be assured of peace when they come and invest in those mines in Congo? And I'm also wondering, as Shekedi is telling, the West or America, come for the minerals in Congo and then you provide us peace against M23, is it even realistic? Because most of the minerals in Congo are under the control of M23.
Yeah, Derek, the situation in Congo, I think we can only draw the whole conversation from what is happening with the M23, in as much as all these negotiations maybe trying to happen. We are hearing maybe this and this. We're having them them in Qatar. I heard of President Shekedi saying that he's looking forward maybe to strike a deal with the United States. And what I form of that, Derek, is that probably this is a man that we have seen even the SADC withdrawing their forces from Congo recently, of what I can only term as a lot of instability, and again maybe being defeated because M23 has been very fierce. They have been growing really advancing the attacks and capturing of those towns. And the way you have mentioned, maybe some people are perceiving that they want to take over government, and maybe in the same spirit it is what Shekedi is now maybe feeling threatened, Derek, and maybe trying to look for those partners that are maybe in trying to bargain and give them mineral, help him maybe protect that power, if it's very clear that what the M23 want is to maybe advance and maybe go oust the government and have a new administration maybe in Congo that is going even to recognize them from the people of Eastern Congo, and the M23 as part and parcel of the administration and the whole government of Congo. So what I form of that and of these all these treaties that we are seeing coming from President Felix Tshisekedi, who is the president from Democratic Republic of Congo. Right now, I strongly believe that he's feeling the threat, because remember, we've been trying to have various peace processes, including Nairobi, Luanda process. We have had various army officers, peacekeeping mission that have failed terribly in the eastern part of Congo, Derek. And if you form and try to come in terms and try to form and in trying to understand what has been happening in Congo, you will only come to realize that maybe the president will try maybe to secure himself by going to nations that remember you may never know if the US government is going to see that we are going to benefit from this deal, and maybe they might come for the.
But the issue is also, the issue is Rwanda is saying they don't back the M23. They have even negotiated in Doha, Qatar. But M23, yesterday they even took over a city called Walikale. This city is rich in gold and tin. So maybe I wonder, is Tshisekedi negotiating with the wrong person?
Yeah, as you see, the persons that are maybe Shekedi is supposed to be maybe negotiating and talking with. Of course, Derek, as the president of Congo, he should have gone or made an effort to invite the leaders of the M23 to State House Congo.
Yes.
But that is exactly the opposite of the whole situation here, because maybe he is trying to protect himself from that and trying to avoid. Remember, he does not recognize M23 as even the people of Congo. So in him, that one is a denial factor that will make him to go to maybe look for other partners that will then, after maybe striking a deal, come and maybe offer him security, give him an assurance of his tenure again as the president. Remember, he will be seeking another term as the president of Congo. So, Derek, we're having a lot, and even the M23, if some people strongly believe that maybe, of course, we may be having that backing may never come out clearly, Derek, but because it's not the interest of, maybe it's not the interest of Rwanda people, it's not the interest of the Paul Kagame, maybe it's the interest of the M23. Maybe they are just getting some favors from the people that believe these people are like us. Remember, even here in Kenya, we have a lot of people that are supporting the cause in Uganda, and some people will feel that those Kenyans that are supporting maybe a party that maybe is bringing chaos in our, some people will tend to maybe associate you with that evil, and maybe in that spirit, Derek, and you see many people have been, and many countries, including Tshisekedi alone, they've been they strongly believe that maybe President Paul Kagame, together with Rwanda and some parts of, remember, Uganda is also, some people also saying that Uganda have been propelling and maybe ensuring that the M23 is well pumped, and they're getting maybe those war equipments that maybe they need to use in war. So, Derek, it's a whole big situation, but indeed what we should be having is the president maybe negotiating with the people of Congo, the people that are living in Congo, the M23, because I think this one will be the fourth or probably the third town to be taken over, remember, to be taken over by the M23, and it will be an advancement, and maybe the situation continues to escalate, and let's see and wait, because again, Derek, various peace processes that we have been having, as we speak right now, they are not reaping any fruits.
Yeah, the M23 have refused, to negotiate in Angola. They don't want to go in Angola. For them, they are continuing with the conflict. But the M23 are okay with the, they're okay with the Nairobi process, and maybe I wonder, there is now even a Qatar, seems like a door process that has been opened by Kagame and Tshisekedi. All these, it seems the problem of DRC, are now becoming the problems of the world. Is it, we even saw Rwanda, sanctioning Belgiums, they're saying them, the Belgium are disadvantaging them in the war in DRC, or going against Rwanda in DRC. Do you think maybe the war in Congo is being underestimated, as maybe it might even lead to a regional war, if something is not really done?
Yeah, the situation in Congo is a situation that is very sudden, and for those that have been following all through, is that indeed what is happening in DR Congo has become a world problem, because the wars are never ending. We're having a lot of warlords in Congo. We're having a lot of guns blazing. We're having a lot of militiamen in Congo. We're having a lot of life being lost in Congo, Derek, and it's now a world problem, whether you agree to it or you don't agree to it, because many people are dying, and because Congo has been at war maybe since I knew Congo, Derek, me even right now I'm over 25 years, and I've been hearing all about the wars in Congo, and even if I try to ask an older person that me, if I try to look in the books of history, Congo has been at war with itself, with a lot of people, with everyone, and if we are not very keen, and not very, if it's not going to be our problem, even as the people in the region, you may never know, because imagine Uganda being associated with these wars. Rwanda, Paul Kagame, president, is being associated with the war. You'll get even those DRC, I mean, Central Republic countries, in a way, they will be associated. And even the situation there is even worse, because, Derek, these countries are neighbors, and sometimes such kind of wars may lead to it leading to. Remember, some of these, we're having a lot of citizens from those countries coming to Kenya, maybe even to seek refuge. Most of them are seeking asylum in Kenya. Most of them are coming to maybe try to protect their life in Kenya, and it's becoming a problem, because then we have to accommodate them, Derek. Maybe make sure that we are supporting life, and yet they have a country that is rich, and they could produce a lot, but because of maybe some countries that are neighbors not paying attention, and maybe not wanting to get associated in trying to bring peace in Congo, may lead to regional problems. Remember, business, Derek, we are countries that depend on each other in terms of business. They are rich in minerals. We have a lot of minerals that we would want to get from them, and if the situations continue that way, it means that things are only going to be hard. Remember, if they're going to have peace, then us as the most neighboring communities and neighboring countries and regions, we may be the very people that are going to benefit more with peace in this region. So it should be our problem. It should be the problem of the world. And fair enough, as our country, Kenya, we are proud, we are happy, we have tried, we have taken our forces there in a mission, and in a process of trying to find peace.
Yeah. There's also been an emergence of the Congo River Alliance, which is an alliance of over 17, armed groups and political parties in Congo, being led by the former head of the Electoral Commission in Congo, a guy called Corneille Nangaa. They're saying the aim is to remove Tshisekedi from power, so that they can give people of Congo the life they want. Maybe, I wonder who runs Congo? Is it M23 now with collaboration with the Congo River Alliance, or it's the government of Congo? I've seen in the Eastern Congo, their army, complete, a complete failure. Who really runs DRC? And who should even negotiate for this minerals deal?
Of course, Derek, it should be the we know. I don't know how the constitution of Congo works, but it's common knowledge that since these are minerals that I know, it should be the president, of course, negotiating such deals, and because minerals are known to be of the country, and that one of the national. In Kenya here, when you have minerals, they are not yours; they are property of the government, and it becomes a national thing. It's a national treasure. So I believe in the same spirit. It should be the president that should be negotiating that. But because those people that are living in those regions, Derek, feel their government is not recognizing them. They have taken up the arms. They have taken up into their hands, and say that we are going to protect these areas. We are going to fight for these areas, and we are going to protect these areas, and we are going to be the persons that maybe negotiate when we get those people that want to buy these minerals. And only end up bringing more problems and more, because then Derek, what system is being used? So the system that will end up being used there is the strongest will end up surviving. That man with the most beautiful gun, with the most old gun, with a well refined man and a verified man to fight is going to be the man that maybe a man that will negotiate for the deal.
Yeah, we are hoping, that peace come to DRC, but as we speak for now, M23 are still advancing the day after the talks in Doha, Qatar, being led by Tamim bin Tamad Al Thani, the Sheikh and the Emir of Qatar. The day after that, M23 went on to take over the town of Walakile, which is very rich in gold and tin. These come even as Shekedi is negotiating for a mineral deal with the Americans. This is crazy. I wonder how will the mineral rich eastern DRC be negotiated on without the M23, and this is our things we shall be following and in making sure that so that anything that happened in DRC, because it's just close to Kenya, we all know and you get informed all the time. So it has been a great morning. We have touched on issues of DRC, issues of Nakada, fight on Shisha, and also we have talked about the reshuffling and the reassignments in the state departments of our beloved country of Kenya. So up to Monday, that is when we meet again. But in the meanwhile, pick your Platfest ticket. Can go on www.mzimawels.com, can go on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Can call the numbers and you can get can get your ticket. So welcome all of you, Maze, to the Platfest. I know it will be the greatest festival ever for Mzima Wells. So welcome to the Platfest, and we meet again on Mondays. I've been your host, Derek Kipkorir, and I've been so grateful, and thank you to everyone who has watched us this morning.
Yeah, Derek, before we come to an end, it will be good to inform our good people that yesterday, and I don't know what you have about this Kenyan team, and for the first time, the new coach, we are able to come to have a comeback of 3-3 in Gambia yesterday. Remember, we were 3 down, even almost to the 70th minute, and we were able to have that comeback there.
The new coach, Benjamin
McCarthy
from South Africa.
From South Africa. He's a legend of Manchester United. Yeah. And it was very interesting match yesterday night, and the Kenyans were very happy. It was a very deserving draw because they were in Gambia. Yes. They were in Gambia, and I think it's good. It was very patriotic for Kenyans.
Yeah. Also, the Safari Rally, has started, and it will be a very. I think it ends, on Sunday. Yeah. People are already weekending, but if you don't know, and then President Ruto, might be making his, development tour of Mount Kenya since Gachagua was ousted. We shall be watching closely, and informing.
The president will be, I think, over the weekend. The president might be in Central, and
that will be,
yeah,
the last stroke on Gashagua's back. Yeah, and I think Brian is also happy about the comeback. He says comeback 90 plus minutes.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, it was actually 90 plus, Derek. It was 90 plus 96 and 90 minutes. So it was a very defining moment for.
It seems Benjamin McCarthy, might save the Arambe Stars, which are no longer shining as they ought to be.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, platformers. Thank you all for tuning into the morning show, and we really want to appreciate you. Just go there, pick your tickets, only going at 2,500 shillings only. Remember, our evening shows continues pale tumida jioni. Over the weekend, also watch alongs with Brian K. Utakuwa tu unazipata hapo ndani ya Mzima Wells, and so much aligned for you. We meet again on Monday. Thank you.
Yeah, Monday, man.